At 6-8, the Colts need honestly somewhat of a miracle to make the playoffs. The Chargers would have to lose two of their next three, which means they'd have to lose to whether it be the Patriots or the Raiders. Both are road games, but still, those are two teams that aren't playing for much, that are just focused on the draft at this point. So that's why I'm calling it a miracle. The Colts also have to win three straight games. I don't know if we've done that all season. I mean, I'll look real quick. Have I don't think we have. We haven't. Yeah, we haven't won three games all year. We've lost three games, of course, in a row. Back Houston, Minnesota, Buffalo, Tennessee, New York, Jacksonville. Very, very favorable opponents. The Colts completely just shot themselves in the foot, though. They had a well, they didn't. I was gonna say we had a 20-7 lead. We should have had a 20-7 lead, but Jonathan Taylor ended up dropping the ball. It's frustrating, man. There's no question about it, but I still have faith in this team and this organization. I'm not gonna sit up here and start calling out players and necessarily like the culture completely. I just think this season has been a disappointment, and I'll leave it at that. Last year, the Colts went to 9-8. They were getting Richardson. Shane Steichen was a very good coach with what he did with Minshew, but he's taken a step back. I do think the Colts have an opportunity, though, to win their next three, give themselves at least a puncher's chance to make the playoffs, and then go into the offseason with both Steichen and Richardson to run this back one more season. The Colts are going to have a good amount of cap space. They've got Richardson on a rookie deal. We need to know who he really is. I think that's the biggest problem with the Colts right now is we don't know who Anthony Richardson is. We've seen what he did against the Jets. We saw, of course, what he did against the Patriots. But we also saw what he did against the Broncos. So for Steichen, he's got to put his young quarterback in a situation to succeed. That's why I don't mind Steichen saying that it starts with him pretty much every single question he answers, because it does. We saw the first drive, the Colts marched down the field and scored a touchdown. We saw Jonathan Taylor at a 41-yard, what should have been a touchdown run. Of course, we know what happened. But still, like plays like that, like the Colts should have went up 20-7 in this game at Denver. And if they had done that and won this game, we'd be having a completely different discussion. But rightfully so, we're not, because the Colts lost it and they should have been up 20-7, but they lost 31-13. Now the Colts got off to a 10-0 start, guys, and they scored 3 points the rest of the way. But I'm not completely losing hope on this team because, for one, the Colts, I do think they'll win their next three games. And the Titans and the Giants, to me, I think those two teams are just completely dead in the water. The Jags is interesting because Mac Jones, he's going to give it his all. Ryan Thomas Jr., I think, is going to completely torch us as well. They've also got, of course, just a team that, with Doug Peterson, they're going to come out to play. They're not just going to hand us a win. So we're going to have to win these three games. But the Chargers, I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't be shocked if they lose two of their next three. They're going to be taking on the Broncos. By the way, the Chargers got outscored, 27-0 in the second half last Sunday against the Bucs. I know the Bucs offense is a lot better than the Broncos offense, but still, there's a chance that the Broncos can win that game, because if the Broncos lose and then they lose to the Bengals and then they lose to the Chiefs, well, if the Bengals win out, the Broncos aren't making the playoffs, right? Unless the Chargers just completely collapse. So, and the Broncos don't have the tiebreaker over the Chargers because they lost the last game. So if they lose again, now they don't have the tiebreaker. Like, they're cooked. So the Broncos are in trouble if they lose. So it's a big game for the Broncos. They're not just going to go out there and hand it to the Chargers. They're going to give it their all. So if you're a Colts fan, absolutely root for the Broncos in that game. I mean, they've got the tiebreaker over us, so they might as well just keep winning for all I care. The Bengals too. I mean, if we just win, let's say if we win our next three games, I mean, they can't even make the playoffs. So there's a lot at stake here. The Colts have got to take care of business though too. They've got to just win games, and then the help that they need, hopefully they get it right. Because by losing to the Broncos, the Colts season should have been all but over. But even just having a chance is kind of crazy. Will the Chargers lose to the Patriots and the Raiders? I mean, my concern with the Raiders game is that if they do lose if they win in week 18, it might cost them Shador Sanders. So if the Giants jump them a pick, so let's say the Raiders pick at 2 or 3 and then the Giants are at 1, well, they're more than likely going to take Shador Sanders, or maybe they like Cam Ward, who really knows. So, I mean, I'm not sure if the Raiders are going to even go out there and try to win, but if they have a chance to knock out a divisional team for making the playoffs, I mean, we did see what the Jags did to us back in, 2018, not 2018, 2021, the Wentz year or whatever. They beat us in their own building, so who knows, man. But yeah, I think the thing with football that kind of frustrates me as a fan is that it's once a week. So the Colts, you lose on Sunday, and then you got to win a week to go back out there. And even if the Colts win, they've got to wait another week to go back out there. It's not like basketball where it's okay, we got 2 games in 3 nights. Let's get back on track. You got to win a week. And I just want to see the Colts go out there and put together a complete game. But to say that the Colts season is lost, I don't think that's accurate. I do think the Colts can win out their last 3 games, play high level football. Anthony Richardson's thriving, and then build off of that going into the next season. Now, the thing for the Colts as well is that their roster is pretty much set. They paid all of their free agents, brought them back, Pittman, Stewart, Kenny Moore, for example. And then in the draft, they go out there, they get Leatu Latu, who was seen by many as the best defensive player, Adonai Mitchell, who was seen by some as one of the best receivers and one of the best offensive players, skill positions in the draft. And then the rest were just sort of fast, strong, athletic guys like Anthony Gould, for example, one of the fastest players in this draft. We've seen what he's done in special teams. He's made some plays. But Ballard, he's drafted on upside versus just what's in front of him. He's under contract till 2026. I think that's going to be the thing I'm most looking forward to this offseason is what the Colts do with Chris Ballard. Are they going to fire their GM and then bring in another one? The Colts are already paying, remember, Frank Reich, for example, they're still paying. I think we're paying, if we were to fire Steichen, we'd be paying like 3 coaches still on the book. So are the Colts going to do that? I don't know, man. But to me, I think it's gotta happen. Like something has to happen this offseason that sort of sparks the team because it just feels too safe right now. It feels like Steichen and Richardson are just way too safe, and they need to go out there and prove something too. Because if you think about it, the games that Richardson started, Broncos, Patriots, Lions, Jets, Texans, Dolphins, Pittsburgh game he did start, but he didn't finish the game. He got hurt during the first drive. Bears game, Packers, and Texans. So 0-2, 1-2. Let's see, 2-2, 2-3, 3-3, 3-4, 4-4, 4-5. So the Colts are 4-5 in games that Anthony Richardson has started and finished, which means that if they win their next 3, 5, 6, 7-5. The Colts are 7-5 with Richardson starting and finishing. So if you look at it from that aspect, the Colts are definitely on the right track, but obviously, adding in context, the teams we've lost to, Denver, Detroit, Houston twice, Green Bay even, who wasn't even with Jordan Love. So the teams that are essentially with a winning record, we haven't beaten. The teams that we're supposed to beat, we're beating. So that's kind of the thing. So you could kind of take it for a grain of salt. But coming into the year, my number one wish for the Colts was Richardson just stays healthy. And he's done that this season. The second thing was making the playoffs. So the fact that the Colts can technically, mathematically still finish the year making the playoffs and Richardson being healthy, that would have crossed off my 2 biggest wishes. But yeah, I'm still going to make Colts videos. I still believe in this team. I understand that the way we lost was devastating, but I also understand that, hey, look, we should have been up 27. If that had happened, we more than likely would have won this game. The Colts just need to respond. Even if they destroy the Titans stink. Mason Rudolph's going to be out there over Will Levis, which actually hurts us because they're going to have a better chance now. But I just wish the Colts were playing, man. I want to see another game, and I want to see this team bounce back in a big way. To this point, though, we really shouldn't be focused on the playoffs. It just should be about developing the young guys and just trying to get this culture back on track because you got Richardson tapping out, JT dropping the ball. I think Shane Steichen needs to hold these guys more accountable. The Richardson thing, I thought he handled well. The JT one, I mean, I don't know. It's tough because JT had a great game. He was the best player on our entire offense, and we know who JT is. He's a team captain, man. A lot of guys look up to him, so it's kind of hard how to handle that. But as long as JT doesn't do it again, like he said, then I'll be content. But yeah, I'm out, guys.